ResortLoop.com is proud to be sponsored by Joffrey's Coffee and Tea Company. While the kiosks are closed in the parks and Disney Springs is closed right now, you can still enjoy Joffrey's by visiting Joffreys.com. There you can find all their great coffees and a brand new stainless steel tumbler that looks fantastic and reminds me of Spaceship Earth. You can find all that at Joffreys.com.
Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas.
For those of you who have joined us at the Polynesian Village Resort Hotel, aloha, and welcome aboard the Walt Disney World local monorail system. During the trip, we request that everyone please remain seated, and that there please be no eating, drinking, or smoking. Thank you. Our next stop is the Magic Kingdom.
Hey everybody, thanks for joining us. I'm Tim Scott. This is ResortLoop.com, the gateway to the magic. Hoping the magic is going to open relatively soon. Last week we took a look at some of the way the restaurants could possibly look, Disney dining could look in the future after all this, before things get back to normal. I don't want to talk about new normals. I don't like the term new normal because the world's already in flux enough normally when things are going on. There's the word normal again. I think when we all talk about getting back to normal, I think we're pretty much talking about not being worried to go to Disney, not wearing masks. I think it's pretty obvious what we would all consider to be normal. So let's hold off the new normal talk, but we're going to talk about the transition period between now and then. To call every stage between then and now the new normal doesn't seem to make sense. We'll call the transitional stage back to the new normal. Let's do that in our lives as well. We're going to get there. I hope sooner than later. I feel like it'll be sooner than later. It's all going to depend on things like your comfort level, as the news develops and comes out and what we're hearing, and your risk level. I'm not saying there's going to be a major risk out there, but I think it's safe to say there's going to be a minor risk at some point. Again, I'm going to talk numbers. I'm not necessarily a numbers guy with this kind of thing. But let's all just stay positive, see how things look, see how things are going. We're hearing some things about, cruises might be starting to go again, at least with the Carnival company. They're thinking about rolling them out there real soon. I'm sure Disney is going to take a little bit of maybe a safer approach, maybe a more, I don't want to say well thought out plan, but I'm going to say well thought out plan. So if you're going to go on a cruise the next few months, the rest of this summer, and they're available, Disney's going to want you to absolutely feel safe. But I was going to talk about my Looper poll about wearing masks, and we're going to get to that. But I want to talk about something I came across from the American Hotel and Lodging Association. It is a group for professional hotels. And when I say professional, bad choice of terms. I meant chain hotels, big hotels. And actually, some of the members in this group you're going to be quite familiar with. Because I know you're going to say, Tim, you're a Disney podcast. Why are you talking about other hotels? Well, here's the thing. The members on this list are the biggies. It's the Marriotts, the IHGs, Holiday Inn, their thing. Wyndhams, Best Westerns, Omnis, Hiltons, all these things are at Disney Springs, but also a member of this group, Disney Parks, Experiences, and Products. From the American Hotel and Lodging Association, they're calling it the Stay Safe Initiative. This is going to seek to change hotel industry norms, behaviors, and standards to ensure both hotel guests and employees are confident in the cleanliness and safety of hotels once the travel resumes. They're saying the initiative will represent a new level of focus and transparency for an industry already built on cleanliness. We have already had rigorous standards for cleaning and safety. With Stay Safe, we are enhancing these standards to boost consumer confidence and doing so in accordance with guidance issued by public health authorities, including the Centers for Disease Control. You've heard them on the news, called the CDC. We are honored to have America's top hotel companies join us in this industry-wide effort, and we look forward to when Americans are confident to travel freely. When this happens, hotels will be ready to safely welcome everyone back. We can't wait. That's from the president and CEO of the consortium. Here's some of the things they're doing for employee and guest health. They're a part of this Stay Safe initiative. It says the CDC guidelines will govern the duty of all hotel employees to engage in frequent hand washing and use of hand sanitizer. I think that's no big surprise to anybody with what's been going on right now. But one of the little tips they have in there, they're using no less than 60% alcohol content. So you don't want to use any less than that. They're going to have a lot of what they're calling front-of-house signage. They say during all times in which the usage of masks is recommended by the CDC and or other local health authorities, health and hygiene reminders shall be placed in high-traffic areas on property, including the front lobby area at a minimum. indicating the proper way to wear, handle, and dispose of masks. What this is saying is if you're going into one of these hotels and you see everybody wearing masks, there'll be a sign right away, because maybe it's not a national mandate, but it could be, it's maybe on a city or county level. So this is one of those things. I mean, most people, I think everybody's going to have some masks in their car, depending on where they're traveling now. That was something we just never would have even thought of just a few months ago. They're also talking about back of the house signage. They're saying the signage will be posted at a minimum in the employee break room in the cafeteria and other areas frequently seen by employees. That will remind the employees the proper way to wear their mask, dispose of masks, use gloves, wash hands, how to sneeze. Yes, we're going back to elementary school. But it's very important because a lot of people don't know this. And they also go on to talk about employee and guest health concerns. They say responding swiftly and reporting to local health officials any presumed cases of the COVID-19 at the hotel property shall be a staff-wide requirement. Employees exhibiting symptoms shall remain at their home, while at work, employees who notice a coworker or a guest exhibiting symptoms should immediately contact a manager. At that point, the hotel would follow the CDC guidelines and instruct employees to self-isolate for the required amount of time as defined by the CDC for at least 3 days without medication. Well-being checks of all employees, including physical temperature checks, where required by law, shall be carried out. Under employee responsibilities, I'll just go over these real quick. It'll be hand cleaning, just right way to wash your hands, 20 seconds. We've all heard that. COVID-19 training, what to look for, how to disinfect, that kind of thing. It'll include all areas, housekeeping, food and beverage, public area development. And then also, CDC is going to recommend going along with federal and local government regulations shall dictate the proper personal protective equipment to be worn by employees. So I'm not sure if this will mean that actually PPE will need to be worn by things like housekeepers, people that might be in your room on occasion. I would say that wouldn't be a surprise to see that. So that will be something we'll actually keep an eye out. This is what I find kind of more interesting. Also under the Stay Safe program was the cleaning products and protocols mentioned. They talk about the public spaces and communal areas. Cleaning and disinfecting will be frequent, multiple times per day, with an emphasis on frequent contact with hard, non-porous surfaces, including but not limited to front desk check-ins, bell desk, elevators, elevator buttons, door handles, that kind of thing. ATMs, they're in there. Handrails, gym equipment. When they get to guest rooms, they're saying cleaning and disinfecting protocols will require that particular attention is paid to high touch and hard, non-porous items, including television remote controls, toilet seats and handles, doors and furniture handles, water faucet handles, nightstands, telephones, and room control panels, light switches, temperature control panels, alarm clocks, luggage racks, and flooring. The frequency of the room cleaning during a guest stay, it might be altered based on guest requirements. So I don't know if that could be maybe more cleaning, depending on maybe how often you're in and out of the room. Maybe it's less cleaning. Maybe they don't want anybody else in there. My thought was, maybe the housekeeping or mousekeeping would need to come in more often to wipe down the counters and all that for anything you might bring into the room. I'm hearing other people saying, maybe we don't want them in the room, but so that they don't worry about, catching a virus or anything like that. So I'm going to be interested to see, how the guest rooms and housekeeping is going with all this. How, what the actual plan is. I'm sure Disney will come out with a specific Disney set of instructions that we'll find out here later. This is what I thought was very interesting. The room recovery protocol. This is in the event that somebody might or does have COVID-19 in the room. The guest room shall be removed from service and quarantined. The guest room shall not be returned to service until undergoing enhanced cleaning and disinfecting, utilizing EPA-approved products within CDC guidelines. Now, I don't have a list of what those are exactly here, but if somebody's suspected of having a room and then being infected or getting the room infected, that's immediately off the grid until it can be, totally cleaned thoroughly and exceptionally clean. While guest occupancy, taking up all the rooms might not be initially important because travel might be light at the beginning, it might be hammered. It's going to be very interesting to see how everything happens here. They might have to keep extra rooms, on the side just in case, there's a mini outbreak or mini concerns or something like that. So that could be something they're looking into. And food and beverage, just kind of the same thing. We're not going to probably do buffets like we did for a while. And the last part for the Stay Safe initiative that we've already heard about, we're already practicing, is the physical distancing. No real surprises here. Everyone wants to stay at least 6 feet from everybody. It doesn't matter what it is. But I will say, I found the guest room thing kind of interesting. I'll read that also. In anticipation of individual concerns of guests, housekeeping shall not enter a guest room during a stay unless specifically requested or approved by the guest, or to comply with established safety protocols. Housekeeping shall maintain the practice of cleaning rooms thoroughly following checkout. So maybe it's true. Maybe the daily bed turned down, maybe the daily fresh towels wipe up at the counter, maybe that's gone. Maybe they're going to go to more of a Disney Vacation Club, type setup with housekeeping. So let me know what you think of that. Do you like? Personally, I like housekeeping every day. I like my bed being made every day because I don't do it at home. I'll be honest. And I like the fresh towels. They just never seem to totally dry, even though the whole day. I mean, it's Florida. I do like dry towels. I'll be honest. Does that make me a bad person? It might. But again, when you're on vacation. So again, that is the Stay Safe Report guidelines that were just put out by the American Hotel and Lodging Association for how things are going to get rolling here, hopefully shortly. I hope you found that as interesting as I do. I like to hear that there's plans rolling so we can get the ball rolling as far as travel is concerned. But anyway, I want to get over to Looper Nation Live, our special Facebook group over there. I put out I call it an express poll. The poll read, would you go to Walt Disney World or Disneyland as soon as it reopens if you were required to wear a mask? The choices were maybe, I would need to have more details of the policy. Yes, I need to be there as soon as possible. Or no, I will wait until everything returns to normal. Coming in at number 1 was maybe. I would need more details of this. So I'll read this in the comments later. I had 72 votes voting for that, with 43 votes coming in to yes, I need to be there as soon as possible. Coming in last, I will wait until everything returns to normal. See, they're not even waiting for the new normal. 30 votes for that. So that was a good sample there. I like that a lot. So we're going to start off with Christopher Stank. He said, I would think it would also depend on the time of year. I know wearing a mask in my office where it's around 75 degrees, then it starts to get hot. I can only imagine what it would be like in 90 degrees with humidity. That is true. Ooh. Dustin Harrelson says, we have a trip booked the end of September, so we are taking a wait-and-see attitude towards it. I'm more gung-ho, let's go, and my wife is a little more hesitant, and I totally understand that. Dustin says, my wife has asthma, so it's a concern for us. It's absolutely true. Like I said, it's going to depend on your comfort level, your risk level, and what you hear everybody else is out there doing. So, Dustin, hope you get your trip in, but as always, everybody stay safe. Shannon Ford says, I don't mind it if they encourage it, but no, I will not wear a mask. Disney is not cheap and Florida is hot. I won't pay thousands of dollars to be uncomfortable, and masks are uncomfortable. I'll go with no fireworks or parades, but masks are the tipping point. I'm kind of the same way. I'm thinking masks, I might have to go to a cooler time of year if I was going to do that. I just don't know if I could do it in the heart of summer. Cassandra Callahan says, I'm currently 50-50 on it. We have a September trip booked as well. A few contributing factors. Number 1, we have a 2-year-old. And how in the world can we make her keep a mask on? Well, that's true. 2, we are taking our nieces for their first trip ever, and selfishly, who wants all of their pictures at Disney wearing masks? Right, that's why I don't like to call this the new normal. I can't see people Instagramming for years with masks. Now, it might be a temporary, like we said, transition period, but let's not call it normal or new normal. Number 3, it's September. So miserably hot, even without a face mask. I wore one for an hour or so in an air-conditioned grocery store and was uncomfortable. So true. I know when I'm wearing a mask, the air comes out like up by my eyes, fogs up my glasses. It's a whole thing. Our banking deadline for our DVC points is July, so we hope to know more by then. Cassandra, absolutely. I hope so. Craig Wiseman put a little explainer out there for masks. I'm not going to read that one necessarily on the show, but if you'd like to read it, hop on over to Looper Nation Live on Facebook. If you're not a member, request to be one. I'll approve you. As long as I see Disney stuff in your feed somewhere, you're in. Leslie Miller Blair says, we have a trip in August that was moved from May and another in September. So it's almost like back-to-backs. My only concern about wearing a mask is the humidity. I'm so sensitive to it, and I don't want other problems to arise because of it. Like heat exhaustion. Like, again, heat and mask, that's just not going to go well. I can totally see that. Jennifer Lopez says, yes, I would go, but I would go for a shortened period of time. She says she's a local, and I might not necessarily go to any rides or shows. I would take it at a slower pace. Jennifer, that's a good idea. Hey, hang out just for a little bit. See how things are going. That's kind of the nice thing about being a local. I'm a little jealous of you, Jennifer. Oh, Vicky Marie from across the pond says, we're due for our usual 4-week trip in the summer, and I really don't think it's going to happen. Wearing masks and socially distancing in the parks just wouldn't be fun. Even able to keep the kids at home and away from the marked out lines in the supermarkets and so on. I honestly think seeing the parks this new way would be quite scary for them. And Shannon said, that's a good point. My son, who is 4, thinks everyone who is wearing a mask is sick. And Vicky agrees with her. I say, that's a point you got to think of. A lot of people are thinking more of the adults in this trip. Think how it's going to affect, the little kids in the strollers that might have to try to wear a mask. Or the young kids could wear masks, wondering what's, this isn't quite like it was before. Although I will say, kids are pretty resilient and they can be kind of go with the flow most of the time. So, we've said this on the show before, you got to kind of know your kids. If you don't think they're going to be able to handle it well, maybe you want to put it off 6 months or a year. Amy Frazier says, our trip is rescheduled for June 6th. It's a graduation trip for us. Restrictions and or lessened experiences would not be ideal, but we have been there, done that, and we will be there again. However, the daughter has taken her BFF with us this trip for what will be her first and possibly only time. Ooh, that always adds a little bit of pressure. So my first world predicament is how to maximize the trip. The daughter has been a champ through all this, but she said numerous times that the Disney trip is what's getting her through. That's true. Sometimes you got to have that goal. Oh my goodness. This group of graduates has missed out on so many milestones. They really have. And I hate to postpone any further, but then again, there are going to be so many restrictions. I just don't know that in the grand scheme of my little problems are petty, but my mama's heart wants my baby to have a perfect world. Amy, that's why you're a good mom. I'll tell you that right now. I know I've said this before. I feel so bad for all the kids who are graduating this year. They just don't quite have all the experiences, but I think they're having a little bit different experiences than other ones. It'll definitely be a bonding thing moving on. Definitely thinking of all the graduates out there. James Jamie Price, the JJP, says, we were supposed to go on June 1st. He's watching the updates closely. My son is leaning towards waiting until the corona is done. Not a bad idea. Good friend Matthew Wallace says, my oldest daughter and I were planning a pre-Thanksgiving trip to Disneyland. I think we've decided to postpone it until March. Too far and too much to take a chance. It's a good point. If you can put it off just a little bit, we can actually see how things are developing. So I think people are just so anxious. And thank you, Matthew. A lot of people are just so anxious to go on a trip as soon as possible because, we've been stuck in the house and we've had the opportunity, if you have an annual pass, I'm just going to zip down for a weekend and you can't do it. I feel for everybody with that. Brian Roche says, we have a trip for the second half of July. We have DVC points in play and our annual passes, and I'm not sure what we are going to do. Even if it's a resort-only stay, it may not be that fun with the headaches. That's true. I'm always up for a resort-only stay, but again, will the pools be open? I hope so. The beach is open? Maybe. Will there be the water pageant? I hope so. Maybe they'll pull too many crowds to the beaches. I think a lot of our answers here will be answered in the next couple weeks or so, if I had to guess. Kristen Conley says, I say I'm waiting on normal. I think I mean our new normal. No, Kristen, you mean normal. I do have a fall cruise booked, and I wonder about that. I am too, Kristen. I think fall's still pretty far away. That's 4, 5, 6 months, depending on exactly when. You might be good. Chad Pennycuff says, it costs too much money to take my family to Disney to have a subpar experience. No, thank you. Alani, now we're talking. Good point, Chad. Love that. It is a lot of money. So if this is your one trip a year, that's what you're saving up for, you want to go in with the best experience possible, you might want to put it off, as I said before, 6 months, a year or so. Judy Elizabeth says, I wouldn't want to wear a mask. Julie, I can't blame you. James Jamie Price, he said, our county had a huge surge of COVID cases the last couple of weeks. That has gained national attention, so there are super strict rules regarding going into businesses. And he goes on to say, it got so hot under the mask that I felt nauseous while waiting in line. Maybe wearing a mask in Florida is a horrible idea. I don't think it's an optimal idea, comfort-wise anyway. On the lighter side, can you imagine the tan lines? James, I saw your picture. Cracked me up. Absolutely. You would have to wear so much sunscreen on your face at a strong one to try to avoid those tan lines. Oh, I can't imagine. Cassandra says, oh no, not the tan lines. I would rather not wear them during our September trip, but we'll have to have some just in case. We'll have to make sure to sunblock it up. Cassandra, good point. Shannon said, I'm in South Florida where they're required to enter any building. Most grocery stores have a line due to get in due to limited capacity, and it's brutal, and I'm only waiting maybe 10 to 15 minutes. Yeah, I don't like this mask idea, comfort-wise anyway. I certainly see the point, but ooh. Sydney Seeger says, I need my Disney World fix. We've already been stocking up on handmade face masks from Etsy shops. We don't mind wearing them while in there. I would like to see many permanent hand-washing, hand sanitizer stations throughout every park. I trust Disney to put a guest and cast member safety first. I'm so sure making them mandatory would just be an extra precaution. we're set for a mid-September, and they will go if it's open. Sydney, I think you pretty much count on there being added sanitizer, hand washing stations. I know whenever I'm down there, I've been known to go into the bathroom just to wash my hands. And I wasn't even thinking about viruses or anything. It was just for kind of comfort and just get them clean a little bit. Oh, and also wipe off my face. I would also do that. Mindy Carnes-Mira says, yes, I'll be there and for sure sit myself on a Main Street bench and watch the people go by. Mindy, I'm right with you. Well, I mean, I wouldn't be right with you on the same bench. That'd be kind of creepy, but if I'm there, say hi. We'll see. Chris Richardson says, I was also supposed to go the end of May. We've canceled it already, but I don't know if Walt Disney World will be open by then. It will take some time to get things up and running again. I will think they need a few weeks to be ready to open from whatever time they make the announcements. But I would have no problem wearing a mask in the park. My personal opinion is that face masks will be a part of the public, like for a while, even if they're not mandated by public authorities or businesses. I've grown accustomed to wearing mine when I have to be in public. I will say, he has a mask on, a little picture there. You can also see it on Looper Nation Live. It's good looking, nice looking red mask. He's in his car. He's en route. Maybe he's on the way to the parks now. Thank you, everybody. I think we'll start getting some opening dates for Disney, kind of like a little mini timeline of when things are going to open. A lot of people are saying Disney Springs first. I think that makes a lot of sense. Then hotels. You might not see all 4 theme parks open up at the same time. You might see 1, I would say maybe 2. I think the Magic Kingdom has to be 1. The second one, I'd just be speculating at this point, same as you. You could guess Epcot, but it's the largest park. Or you could say Animal Kingdom. Or what about Hollywood Studios with all the new Star Wars stuff opening up and that has opened up? My gut's telling me it's going to be the Magic Kingdom and Hollywood Studios. I don't know. We'll see. I have no insight. It just kind of makes sense in Tim Scott's little head. Again, I hope you like this Looper Nation poll. Stay tuned. We're going to have another one out there relatively shortly over there at Looper Nation Live. If you're not a member at our Facebook group over there at Looper Nation Live, look us up over there. We're a fantastic group of people waiting to talk and go to Disney. By the way, if you're interested in going to Disney, you need to maybe get an idea for a trip together or a cruise, something like that. Look us up over at ResortLoopTravelGroup.com. I'm Tim Scott, Facebook, Twitter, the website. Thanks for listening, everybody. Everyone, please go out there and share the Gateway to the Magic. Until next time, see you, everybody. Vacation memories will stay with you and your family for a lifetime. The Resort Loop Travel Group was created with this in mind. Our fee-free services will relieve you of the stress and confusion of finding and booking the best vacation at the best price. After booking, we will continue to monitor for ways to save you even more on your vacation. We will check for any upcoming packages and discounts to save you as many vacation dollars as possible. Resort Loop Travel Group, gateway to your magical vacation memories. Get a quote, or for more information, visit ResortLoopTravelGroup.com.